What is up guys, Vampire1 here, and today we're going to be covering one of the new world premiere cards in Shadow Spectre's Vampire Duke. So of course, as we all know, there's been a lot of cards released in Shadow Spectres to back up vampires, and there have been actually a lot of good cards. Vampire is probably going to be a deck that quite a few people are going to play when Shadow Spectres actually gets released, and it's going to be interesting to see what people can do with it. I'd like to see it win some tournaments and see if anyone can come up with anything really game-changing, like even if it's just like the one-time thing like that, Earthbound, like Earth Psychic, something like that. Back when Return of the Duelist comes out, they used Grand Soil, the Earth Grand Soil, with a bunch of Psychic cards, and they won a tournament, and of course that deck wasn't very good after the tournament, but it was still a pretty neat thing, and I like vampires to be up with something like that. But anyway, Vampire Duke, let's go over his stats here. So it's a dark zombie, level 5, 2000 attack, 0 defense, and its effect reads: when this card is normal summoned, you can target one dark vampire monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in face-up defense position. When this card is special summoned, you can declare one card type, monster, spell, or trap. Your opponent sends one card of that type from their deck to the graveyard. You can only use the effect of Vampire Duke once per turn. This card cannot be used as an XYZ material for an XYZ summon, except for the XYZ summon of a dark monster. So I'm pretty sure that's two different effects. So when this card is normal summoned, you can target a dark vampire monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Full stop. And then his second effect is, if Vampire Duke is special summoned, you can declare one card type, monster, spell, or trap. Your opponent sends one of that card from their deck to the graveyard. You can only use this effect of Vampire Duke once per turn, and then that XYZ restriction. So the thing I like about vampire cards is that they have the potential to get a lot of cards out of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. I mean, if you just say traps for a couple of turns, then boom, 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 you can pretty much clear your opponent's deck of trap cards. Same with spells, and in today's format, pretty much throughout history, there've never really been a lot of cards that return spell and traps from the graveyard back to the hand. Magician of Faith, which is now banned. Magical Stones, something along that lines. You discard two cards at a spell back from your graveyard to your hand, but they're not really staple cards, and they're very specific to mainly spell counter decks. So yeah, you don't really see many cards that return spell and traps from the graveyard to the hand, field, so on and so forth. So vampire cards are actually really powerful in that regard. Monsters, not so much, because you could be helping out your opponent if they had certain cards that help Reborn, and you start sending their monsters to the graveyard. They can get them a lot quicker than they would have been able to. But yeah, once you've got rid of all the spell and traps, you might as well start working on the monsters, right? So yeah, it's a pretty good card. And the other thing I like about vampire cards a lot is most of them you can only use the effect, their milling effect, once per turn. Because without that effect, there'd probably be a really broken loop that would probably just destroy your opponent's deck in like one turn. So yeah, I'm really glad that they've all got those effects. It makes for a good archetype, but not a broken archetype. And that first effect, when this card is normal summoned, target one dark vampire monster in your graveyard, special summon it. If you summon a level 5, of course, you can then go into, I can't remember his name, Vampire Brain, something like that. It's the XYZ monster for the vampire archetype. So yeah, Vampire Duke, pretty good card overall. I like it a lot. But anyway guys, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of Vampire Duke? Also, if you enjoyed the video, remember to give it a like, rating, and be sure to subscribe to the #1 source for Yu-Gi-Oh! News. Again guys, it's Vampire1, and I'm out. Peace, thank you for watching.